So we had a customer ticket a while ago, or like a few weeks ago, where I think they were using the Amazon Linux 2023 image, which is basically a kind of like Fedora-based Linux distribution, obviously, provided by Amazon. But within that image, they don't have many kind of external repositories configured. And so part of the, one of the big things which is missing is actually Mosquitto. So normally we actually then rely on the community repositories of each of the Linux distributions to pull in Mosquitto. So, but then if it's not available from the community, then we're kind of in this awkward position going, okay, how do I actually install it? So a while ago, we kind of approached this topic to try to make a kind of more portable Mosquitto version. So we were actually already using this in the TED standalone project. So we kind of extended this and like revisited this topic going, how can we actually build Mosquitto to be more portable? And can we actually potentially package it ourselves so that we can kind of give people an option if they don't have, the community package available, that they can just pull in this package instead. So now we do have available a package. So we're still working out a few of the details, like what name should we actually give it to differentiate it between, the Mosquitto, for example, the Debian package, and our custom built Mosquitto instance. But if you need something available because you can't find it, or like Mosquitto's not available, then you can go to the Zig Mosquitto kind of repository under our organization, and you'll see that there's pre-built artifacts for a whole host of different environments. So we have both with TLS and no TLS. So for some devices who don't use like the MQTT broker as a secure kind of message bus, which is exposed to other devices in the network, then you can actually use just the local broker without TLS because it's not exposed to the outside world or the outside network. So that saves you a little bit of space, I think about 3 megabytes in the end, which if you're working on an embedded device which only has 10 megs available in disk space, then 3 megs becomes quite a sizable chunk of that. So the Mosquitto version here that we provide, so it's not connected to any of the install scripts at this point in time. We will be investing or investigating how we can integrate that seamlessly. Do we do this by default or not, and all these kinds of situations. But you can then pull it in and install it manually. And the good thing is this is self-contained. So it's statically compiled. So this means it's the same binary for everywhere. Like you don't need libc versions installed. And then we have all the different packaging. So for the different CPU architectures, also for RISC-V, and all the different ARM variants and AMD64. So you can install these packages. So you can just download it and do like a node deb -i or dpkg -i to install the package or whatever kind of package manager you're using. And then you should be able to migrate to that or like install that if you really need it. So if you have any feedback to, hey, because there's a few limitations, like, we don't support WebSockets on that local Mosquitto bridge, or sorry, on the Mosquitto broker. However, I think not many people are using it anyway. So we definitely weren't using it. So I don't think it was really applicable in most instances that's missing. But if there is some kind of use case going, hey, that would be useful, then feel free to give us feedback on that. So once we have like the names worked out and then maybe integrate it and have it automatically installed in the install.sh, if a public Mosquitto version isn't available, then we'll also probably add it to our release notes or our documentation as well. But interesting enough, we use the Zig to actually build this statically. So if you're also looking for a good cross-compiler for C projects, or actually any kind of like, even including Rust, Zig is actually proven to be a really, really nice compiler or /linker for those projects. So it can produce, you can cross-compile things very, very easily without installing a million different tools on different environments. So we can only recommend that if you're looking for kind of C compiling. And yeah, there's few instructions, etc. if you want to even build it yourself. Cool. So that was about it for the demo today. Given that we have a bit of time, we could have a open question round if anyone's interested. If not, then I guess we'll just finish the demo early this time. Yeah, Mario, go ahead.
So really cool that you now also have the possibility to pull Mosquitto out of the repo. So is there any other difference to the standard Mosquitto that you get? I think if I install it on my Pi, usually it's 2011 or something like that.
Yeah. So the good thing is we can actually control it. So we can. So at the moment, if in the build artifacts, so we were limited, or we were fixing it to a specific version. So that does have the charm that we can kind of control it to some degree. So yes, the different builds have, or the different versions have slightly different kind of quirks, let's say, / bugs. So we're still deciding what one works best, because I believe 2011 is more or less, it's very subjective, but let's say the better of the versions at this point in time, due to the 2018 having one kind of interesting bug in some circumstances. So we're still deciding what version makes sense, or do we build multiple versions and let people decide as they did before? But at least we can control it. So the build process is fairly easy. We can control it when we're building it. So somewhere in our CI job, it will just be 2018. So pull in that source code and build it.
Okay, cool.
So I think the only kind of major limitation is no WebSocket support locally, and there is a minor difference. So there is it's not using the SD notify systemd kind of mechanism. That means anything to anyone here, but it's not critical. It's just an additional kind of way that you can run a systemd service, but you can also run it as a simple systemd service just fine, and it will work very similar. But without, by dropping this, it means that we only need to build one thing for everywhere, or for the same CPU architecture at least. Because the more variants you kind of bring in, the more versions and packaging you have to do, and it just gets a little bit of a nightmare to do.
Mm-hmm. Just a remark, since you asked for WebSocket support, we actually have one customer that was looking into it for using WebSockets, because they are having the everything proxied via, I don't know, some kind of proxy behind the firewall or whatever, and HTTP tends to be open, and SOC proxies seems to be more complex.
Yeah, so I mean, with the support for HTTP proxies, so if you could do the what's it called, connect tunneling, I believe, that could be a way. So that doesn't require WebSocket support. That can, but it does rely on your HTTP proxy supporting the HTTP connect tunneling method. So that I would definitely encourage trying that first if you have any customers that needing HTTP proxy support, and then only going to possibly WebSockets. So yes, we don't support WebSockets at this point in time. So I think there's definitely interest, but we want to keep it as simple as possible. So if there is no need and the other proxy method is good enough, then I would kind of go use that. But if that isn't available for whatever reasons, then feel free to. I think we have an open ticket for this for WebSocket support, but we're talking about the WebSocket support. So this is on the local broker. So if you're just interested in the bridge, then that's a different thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, if you have the use case there, and for whatever reason you can't use the other HTTP proxy, just look for the WebSocket ticket on our GitHub repository and add your comments there.
Okay, thanks.
Cool.